Hello everyone. So now we have to study the various algorithms in a substitution cipher technique. So in earlier part we can study the three algorithms, that is a Caesar cipher, monoalphabetic cipher and Playfair cipher. So now we have to study the polyalphabetic cipher. So how the polyalphabetic cipher can be designed and how it can convert the plain text into the cipher text. Okay, so it is a set of related monoalphabetic substitution rule is used. Okay, so in a polyalphabetic cipher, so we can used the key along with the plain text. Okay, so whatever the plain text, so that plain text we have to consider with the key. So we have to apply the particular key for our plain text. So we can use the different keys along with the plain text. So by using this particular key, we can encrypt our plain text, and that plain text we can convert into the ciphertext by using the polyalphabetic ciphers. So here we can take the plain text as a wireless. Okay, so if we consider, if we take a plain text, so our plain text, if our plain text is of a 5 letters, so we have to consider the 5 letters key. So the key and plain text should be the same. So it is the basic rule for the polyalphabetic ciphers. So the size of the plain text and the size of a key, that should be same. So here we can use the key as a deceptive. Okay, so now we have to convert the plain text into the ciphertext. So in order to convert the plain text into the ciphertext, so we can use the number of alphabets. So first we have to represent the numbers for each alphabet. So we have a total 26 alphabet, so we can write all the 26 alphabets on a one page, and first we can represent the numbers to each letter. So we can numbering these particular alphabets from 0 to 25. So we can provide the number 0 to letter A and the number 25 to letter Z. So we can provide the numbering to each alphabet from 0 to 25. So our first thing is, so we have to consider the key as a deceptive. So according to the letter, we have to consider the respective numbers. So if we find out the number for D, so we can go through the table. So we can assign the number 3 for letter D. Okay, so that's why we can represent the number 3 here. So the D letter can be replaced with the number 3. So accordingly, E can be replaced with 4, C can be replaced with 2, again E can be replaced with 4, P letter can be replaced with 15, then T letter can be replaced with 19, I letter can be replaced with 8, V letter can be replaced with 21, and E can be replaced with 4. So here first we can represent the key according to rule. Now again we have to consider our plain text. So our plain text is a wireless, so the same thing we can apply for this particular plain text. So our W can be replaced with 22. So if we consider our alphabets, so we can assign 22 number for W. So that's why we can replace W with a 22, then I with a 8, R with a 17, E with a 4, L with 11, again E with a 4, and S with a 18. So likewise we can first not put the numbers instead of letter. Now we have to convert our plain text into the ciphertext. So in order to convert the plain text into the ciphertext, so we have to add the key in our plain text. So here we can add the key. So we have to consider the column wise operations. So the first column consists of 3 and 22. Okay, so we can add the number 3 and 22. So addition of 3 and 22, that is a 25. So we have to consider the respective alphabet for 25. So the respective alphabet for 25 is Z. So that's why we can replace the 25 number with a letter Z. The next is a 4 plus 8, that is a 12. So if we find out the respective letter for 12, that is a M. So that's why we can replace the number 12 with a letter or with the alphabet M. Okay, so likewise we can add our key in a plain text, and we can consider all the numbers and all the letters. So simply we have to add the key in our plain text. So if we add the key, and for that addition we have to go for this particular bit. Okay, so in this way we can convert our plain text into the ciphertext by using the polyalphabetic ciphers. So now the next cipher is a Figner cipher. So it is the simplest polyalphabetic substitution cipher. So it is effectively multiple of the Caesar ciphers. So in this we can use the repetitive key. Okay, so that might be key as key 1, key 2 up to the last letter. So here we can use the repetitive key for the Figner cipher. So for that we can take the key as a deceptive. So here we can repeat the key deceptive for 3 times. So key 1, key 2 and key 3. So we can repeatedly for the number of times. It might be a 4, it might be a 5. So likewise we can use the repetitive key for this particular Figner cipher. So here we can use the plain text as we are discovered, save yourself. Okay, so likewise our plain text, so we have to use the same length key. So that's why we can repeat the key 3 times. It is a deceptive, deceptive and deceptive. Okay, so next thing is we have to add our key into the plain text. So here we have to consider the letter D and W. Okay, so for we have to add the letter D and W. So how to make the addition? So in last algorithm we can study how we can consider the respective letters and how we can consider the respective letters. So the respective number for D is a 3 and the respective number for W is a 22. So we can add 3 plus 22, that is a 25. So the respective letters for 25 is Z. So we can write the cipher text as a Z for D and W. Then next is a E, and plain text also consists of a E. So we have to consider the respective number for E. So for E we can assign the number 4. So we can add 4 plus 4, that is a 8. So we have to consider the respective alphabet for number 8. Okay, so we can assign this particular number to the alphabet I. So that's why we can replace with the letter I. So in this way we can repeat the operations for all the letters. So simply we have to add the key into the plain text. So if we get the addition, so we have to consider that particular number and we have to find out the respective alphabet for that particular addition or that particular number. So in this way we can convert the plain text information into the ciphertext. Okay, so the next cipher is Farnham cipher, or it is also called as a one time pad cipher. Okay, so in this cipher, okay, basically this cipher can be mostly used for encryption as well as decryption of message. So now we have to understood how the message can be encrypted and decrypted by using the Farnham cipher. Okay, so in this cipher also we can use the same length key. So according to the plain text, we have to consider the same length key for the Farnham cipher also. Okay, so the keyword is as long as the plain text. Okay, so it is the first point in a Farnham cipher. So whatever our keyword, so that should be as long as the plain text. So if our plain text is of 10 letters, so we have to use the keyword is of 10 letters. Okay, so the Farnham system works on a binary data with bit of text exclusive odd with ith bit of a key to produce ith bit of a cipher. So here we have to simply use the various keys and the various letters. So in a one time pad key, we can use the key at a one time. So we'll take a one example to understood the concept of Farnham cipher. So here we can use the plain text as a engineering. So for this particular plain text, we have to use the same size key. So here we can use the same size key as a electronics. Okay, so first we have to do the encryption, and after that we have to do the decryption. Now how to do the encryption? So in order to do the encryption, we have to consider our plain text. So the plain text is a engineering. So first we have to represent the respective numbers for each plain text. Now how to represent the numbers for engineering? So we have to look at our table. So we have to first mention the alphabets from A to Z, and we have to provide the respective numbers for these particular alphabets from A to Z. So we can start with the numbering from 0 to 25. So likewise our letter E is replaced with 4, then second letter N is replaced with 13, then G is replaced with 6, then I is replaced with 8, then next letter N is replaced with 13, E is replaced with 4. So there is a 2 times E, so we can replace E with a 4, then R is replaced with 17, I is replaced with 8, N is replaced with 13, and G is replaced with 6. Okay, so simply we have to consider our plain text, and according to the plain text, so for each letter in a plain text we can mention the specific number. Okay, so here we can first write the plain text in a numbers. Okay, so likewise E is replaced with 4. So likewise we can replace all the alphabets with the numbers. So after that we have to consider our key. So our key is electronics. So similar to the plain text, we have to consider the respective number for this particular key. So we can consider each letter, and for each letter we can replace the particular letter with a number. So likewise the plain text we also replace our key. So our key consists of electronics. So each alphabet can be replaced with its corresponding number. So like E letter replaced with 4, L is replaced with 11. So likewise we can replace our key and represent into the particular numbers. Okay, so the first thing is we have to consider the plain text and the key. So once we represent the plain text and key, so we have to do the encryption. So for encryption, simply we can add the key into the particular plain text. So we have to consider the addition. So the addition of plain text and key is considered in a third row. That is a 4 plus 4 is a 8, 13 plus 11, that is a 24. So likewise we can add the key into the plain text. So accordingly the addition we got the row 3. So now we have to consider the ciphertext in a row 4. So how to consider the ciphertext? So if our addition is more than 26 or more than 25, so we don't have any particular letter for 32 as well as 30. So if we look at the row number 3, so there are the two numbers which are above 26. So how to do the encryption? So for that, so simply we can subtract the 26 number from that particular number. So for example, we can subtract the 26 from 32. So the answer should be 6. So here we can consider in a red circle. So again there is a one more number which is greater than 26. So we can subtract the 26 from 30. So answer should be 4. So we can mark the number. So there is no problem with the another numbers. So we can keep as it is. So likewise first we can convert our the plain text into the ciphertext. Now we have to again consider the respective alphabets for these particular numbers. So once we consider the ciphertext, if we have to write the ciphertext in a various alphabets, so then we can consider the respective alphabets for this number. That is a letter, so that is a number 8 is replaced with I, then 24 is replaced with Y. So likewise we can represent our ciphertext into the alphabets. So likewise we can do the encryption. We can convert our the plain text into the ciphertext. So this is the encryption process of Vernam cipher. So now if we have to decrypt this particular message, okay, so at the receiver side we also decrypt this particular ciphertext. So in order to decryption, so here we can use the first row as a ciphertext. So whatever the numbers in a ciphertext, so we can write as it is as a first row. Now we have to decrypt this particular message by using the key. So here we can use same key. So our key is electronics, so that's why we can use the same key as electronics, and we can mention, we can represent the corresponding numbers for these particular alphabets. Okay, so first we can represent the ciphertext, and second is we can represent the particular key. Now in order to make the decryption, we can simply subtract the key from the ciphertext. Now how to do the subtraction? So we have to consider the row 1 and row 2. Okay, so we have to make the decryption of this particular message. So simply we can subtract the key from the ciphertext. So 8 minus 4, that is a 4. Now 24 minus 11, that is a 13. Then 10 minus 4, that is a 6. The next 10 minus 2, that is a 8. The next is a 6 minus 19. So answer should be minus 13. Okay, so likewise we can do the subtraction of the row 1 and row 2. So once we get the subtraction, so now we have to consider the plain text. So if we have to consider the plain text, so the plain text can be, so the subtraction can be represented in a row 3. Now we have to represent the plain text. But if we have to represent the plain text, so the problem with negative numbers. So our numbering system, we cannot represent any negative number for any alphabet. So for that, whatever the negative number, so in that negative number we can add 26. So why we can add 26? Because our character, because our alphabets are 26. So simply we can add 26 in the negative numbers. So our negative number is minus 13. So if we add 26 in a minus 13, so the answer should be 13. And then next is a minus 9. So if I have to add 26 in a minus 9, so the answer should be 17. So these two thing we can represent in a red circle. Okay, so if the subtraction is negative, so we can add 26 in this particular subtraction. So likewise we can represent our plain text. So here we got the fourth row, that should be our plain text. And for this particular number, so again if we represent these particular numbers into the alphabet, then we got our original message, that should be called as a plain text. So here we got the plain text as a engineering. So at the encryption side we can send the plain text as a engineering, and once we decrypt it, we also got the plain text as a engineering. So for each number we can represent the alphabets. Okay, so by using this method we can do the encryption as well as decryption. Okay, so up to this we'll study the three types of ciphers. So first one is a polyalphabetic cipher, second one is a Figner cipher, and third one is a Farnham cipher. Okay, so these are the techniques related to the substitution ciphers. Okay, so in a substitution ciphers we can study the 6 types of ciphers. First one is a Caesar cipher, second one is a monoalphabetic cipher, third one is a Playfair cipher, fourth one is a polyalphabetic cipher, fifth one is a Figner cipher, and sixth one is a Farnham cipher. Okay, so these are the ciphers that we studied in a substitution technique. Okay, so by using this we can convert our plain text into the cipher text. Okay, so after this we have to study various types of transposition techniques. Okay, so likewise substitution technique, we have to study the different types of transposition techniques. So by using these techniques also we can convert our plain text into the cipher text. Okay, so basically, so the need of this particular algorithm is for our security. So if we transmit our plain text as it is, so there is a possibility to hack the particular information. So the attacker can, if attacker can attack our system, our information will be hacked. So if I have to make our information, if I have to make our messages more secure, so we can convert the plain text into the cipher text. Okay, so that cipher text we can transmit by using the transmission channels, and at receiver side, so the receiver can decrypt this particular information. So the at decryption side it can again convert the ciphertext into the plain text. So there is a communication is in between only the sender and receiver. So for that we can assign the same key for the sender side as well as same key to the receiver side. Okay, so these particular algorithms can be used for the security purpose only. Okay, so by using these techniques we can secure our information, we can secure our system. Okay, so these are the some techniques related to the substitution cipher. Okay, so in next part we have to study the various transposition ciphers. So why the transposition cipher can be used, what are the different ciphers in a transposition, what is the technique, yeah, how it can be implemented. Okay, so in this part we have to study only up to the substitution cipher. Okay, so up to this we'll stop here. So next part we'll take in a next lecture. So for next we have to study various transposition ciphers. Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you.